Michael?
I agree with that. I've been saying it for 2 cycles, 3 cycles now. We are who we are. We are where we are because this is where we want to be. America doesn't move itself into the throes of MAGA and Trumpism unless it wants to be there. You don't make yourself into that space unless there's an underlying thread that you are pulling that pulls you closer or more into it. So I think Jeff is exactly right about that analysis.
When it is a bad day for Elon Musk, it is a wonderful day for the rest of America. And fortunately, today is one of those days because one of our 2 very unfortunate co-presidents in Elon Musk was just rocked by a lawsuit regarding his acquisition of the platform most important to his influence over this past election. Yes, Elon Musk's illegal activity in his acquisition of Twitter is being brought forth in a lawsuit by the SEC. And of course, Elon is not very happy about that, and we are going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really means the world to me now. Before we get into this lawsuit against Elon Musk, I want to talk about the ways that not only are his business ventures causing him some problems lately, of course with this lawsuit against Elon Musk and his acquisition of Twitter, but some of his personal issues within MAGA, because this is all going to connect in a bit. So before we get into the lawsuit, let's check out some thoughts that Steve Bannon has about Elon Musk.
I walked through the perfect storm of stories around these 3 different social media platforms, Zuckerberg running both Facebook and Instagram. And there's technology there, but it seems now to be much more than a tech story. It seems to affect information and democracy. Your thoughts on what we just laid out above?
Look, you connected some pretty big dots here that run the gamut of the ultimate suppression of information, the elevation of conspiracy and mis and disinformation, and more importantly, mainstreaming it in such a way that, as you noted at various points in your lead, it's hard to tell. People can't tell necessarily what the storyline is, what the truth is. And Zuckerberg himself, was fancifully talking about, we're sitting here, we're looking at this, and we're seeing that people can't necessarily see or hear or understand this a certain way or a different way. So we're just going to take out the guardrails and just let them interpret for themselves. Let's redefine what facts are. So yeah, this is a setup for the second term. It has been part of a series of narratives and storylines along the way. Steve Bannon has largely been orchestrating it. It's a little bit laughable to kind of watch the dance between him and Elon Musk right now, which has been going on for quite some time, because Steve, game recognizes game, baby. All right. He knows exactly what Elon was up to. It's like, hey man, you gonna move in on my turf? You gonna move on my ground? That's why he's suddenly such an evil person. Now, if he just stayed in his lane, and just, continue to use his money and authority that he has to benefit Donald Trump, while all the other, players got to do their thing, that's a different story. But yeah, these 3 pieces do connect in a way that I think is very telling about how this incoming second term for Trump is likely to play out. It's not just the bending of the knee by Bezos and Musk and others. And it's about what they do once they bend the knee. And that's the part that comes next.
Yeah, I think that's well put. And the difference between journalism, which has plenty of criticism and some of it's valid, and these businesses, is that the businesses never said they were trying to do fact checking anyway. Right. I mean, take even an outlet that people might not like. Think of your outlet you don't like. If it's a reputable outlet, it would never announce we're not fact checking anymore. it wouldn't even make sense. Where some of these businesses can do that. While I have you to start the week, and I reminded viewers, Michael, that inauguration is now 1 week away, and everyone can kind of shake off a few things and cobwebs and begin anew. Hopefully people got some rest or replenishment. We like to look at it big, and I wanted to get your view on the larger picture of how America looks in the mirror and where we go in the weeks ahead. Teeing off the culture, where we heard from Jeff Daniels, whom people know from all kinds of work, but he's been in a bunch of political films, as some folks might know. And we just heard from him. I just had him on the program on one of my series, and he said something really interesting. I want to play for your reaction on the other side.
Yeah, they've won for now. I mean, I've always said November 5th was we're going to find out who we are. And we did. But maybe it's, if you want to have some hope, maybe it's who we are now.
Michael?
I agree with that. I've been saying it for 2 cycles, 3 cycles now. We are who we are. We are where we are because this is where we want to be. America doesn't move itself into the throes of MAGA and Trumpism unless it wants to be there. You don't make yourself into that space unless there's an underlying thread that you are pulling that pulls you closer or more into it. So I think Jeff is exactly right about that analysis. I'm a little bit skeptical about the other side of it, that, for now, the question is, how long is for now? And we'll see. I can tell you this, 1 week from this hour, America will already begin to look and feel very differently because the executive orders that will be implemented at 12:01 p.m. That day will begin to set in motion a different reality for a lot of people who think this is where they want to be. And that will then answer both my and Jeff's point about where we are and who we are, because our response to those executive actions, our response to this leveling up of authoritarianism, in whatever form, meek and mild it may first appear, will tell us a lot about what America looks like 2 Mondays from now.
Now, I first wanted to start with that reporting about Bannon's relationship to Elon Musk because, of course, we understand the close friendship and connection between Steve Bannon and Donald Trump. And now that's kind of getting in the way of Donald Trump's relationship with Elon. But there are so many on the right who will make the claim falsely that Elon is in the government, that he's working in Doge, that he's alongside Donald Trump out of the goodness of his heart, or because he wants to say America, or some other ridiculous lie that Elon Musk couldn't possibly be in this for the money or the corruption because he already has so much money as it is, but that's not true. And this lawsuit we're about to get into is a perfect example of why Elon Musk wants to be in Donald Trump's pocket, or have Donald Trump in his pocket as co-president. Because he wants to make all the lawsuits go away. And he wants to put all the government dollars in his checkbook. That is what Elon is focused on. Not the goodness of his heart that we have yet to see, but it'll all make a little bit more sense when we check out this lawsuit breaking the SEC sues. Elon Musk saying he didn't disclose Twitter ownership on time before buying it. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission has sued billionaire Elon Musk saying he failed to disclose his ownership of Twitter stock in a timely manner in early 2022 before buying the social media side. As a result, the SEC alleges Musk was able to underpay by at least $150 million for shares he bought after he should have disclosed his ownership of more than 5% of Twitter shares. Muse bought Twitter in October 2022 and later renamed it X Musk, started amassing Twitter shares in early 2022, and by March of that year, he owned more than 5%. At this point, the complaint says he was required by law to disclose his ownership, but he failed to do so until April 4th, 11 days after the report was due. Musk lawyer Alex Spayo said a statement that the lawsuit is an admission by the SEC that they cannot bring an actual case since Musk has done nothing wrong. He called the lawsuit a sham. Now, once again, this is why Elon Musk wants to get involved in government, so he can skim an extra $150 million off the top without the SEC having any problems with Elon. Because when he makes a call, things all get cleared up. And it's also so he can dump as many dollars into his businesses as he'd like without any possible risk. And all of the possible upside, that is what Elon is about. This is not about the goodness of his heart or saving America or cutting the red tape. No, 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 no. Elon Musk is focused on himself, and he is focused on causing chaos so he can have more entertainment on his news. And I'm putting that in quotes platform in Twitter, or I guess X. And that's why he continues to lie and push misinformation about the wildfires in Los Angeles. And that's why he's being called out by Governor Gavin Nome, as we can see in this clip right here.
I'm more interested from you and how damaging it is when you have somebody with that type of a platform who is next week going to be the president of the United States is injecting inaccurate information about the worst wildfires in American history.
Let me answer that by thanking President of the United States, Joe Biden, who within 36 hours supported a major disaster declaration by text. Within a few minutes later, committed 100. He could have just committed 75%, 90. He said 100% of all the costs for disaster recovery. That took the time to meet with first responders, was here on the ground. I want to thank President Joe Biden. And then I want to offer that as an example to the incoming president of presidential leadership, a president of the United States of America, being here for the American citizen. He didn't ask me, is this a conservative part of California, Altadena? Did they vote for me? What? He didn't ask for his staff to look at the last election and see how many were for Kamala or how many were for Donald Trump. He said, pal, you got it. We have their backs. Express empathy. I had firefighters that went up to him and they had tears in his eyes after meeting Joe Biden, who was consoling them. I think that's an example for the incoming president. What's not, I think, helpful or beneficial is the string of consciousness, these wild-eyed fantasies that somehow the state water project, we have reservoirs that are at or near historic highs, full, completely full, that somehow there's a magical spigot in California, in Northern California, that just can be turned on and all of a sudden there'll be rain or water flowing everywhere. It's not helpful. It's damaging to the very foundation of the notion of what are facts, what are truths. And the fact of that asymmetry, that's profound and consequential, amplified by people like, let's be candid, Elon Musk and others. And that 1-2 punch is real. And it's not just about this fire.
If there was any goodness in Elon Musk's heart, we wouldn't see him pushing misinformation about the fires in Los Angeles. We'd be seeing him use his massive wealth to actually help the victims rather than cause chaos at the lowest point in their lives. But that's not what Elon is ever going to do. Elon will always help Elon. Donald Trump will always help Donald Trump. That's what these people are about. That's what this administration is all about. It's not about lowering cost. It's about lowering the corporate tax rate and making sure Elon Musk with his $400 billion is up $400 billion more by the end of Donald Trump's administration. That is what this was always be about. And we have to call them out for that every single day. And if you want to support that, we're going to be doing it on this show, and you can hit that subscribe button. You can leave a like on this video. And if you're stuck around at the end, you can drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.